So one afternoon when my son was like about 3 weeks old, he fell asleep in his infant carrier baby chair thing. And I fell asleep face down on the couch, and he woke up before me, and his cries were loud and piercing, and I heard them, but I could not make myself move. My limbs felt so heavy, and I just couldn't fathom doing anything but continuing to sleep. And finally, after what felt like an eternity, I rolled off the couch. I like crawled over to his baby chair thing. I pulled him out. I laid back on the floor, pulled out my boob to breastfeed, and fell back asleep on the floor. Thankfully, this did not last forever, but God, the fatigue in the early weeks of his life were hardcore. It was so intense. And that's pretty normal. You know, a lot of new moms experience really intense fatigue. And sometimes that fatigue can last the first year of life or even beyond. You know, it's like any parent will tell you, you really never get the kind of sleep you got before you got pregnant ever again, but it does get better. The super extreme fatigue can lift if you do certain things. And even now, like if you are a brand new mom and you're so stinking tired, there are certain things you can do right now to at least alleviate it a little bit. All right, so one of the first things you can do is reconsider your sleeping arrangement. So one of the biggest reasons why most moms are so tired during the day is because you don't get much sleep at night, right? Part of this reason is that babies don't yet know that they're supposed to sleep when it's dark and be awake when it's light, so their body clock is all messed up. Their tummy is so small that they do need to eat throughout the night. And so those are, you know, all issues out of your control. It just means that baby will wake up throughout the night and you'll need to care for them. But one thing that you can have more control over is where the baby sleeps. So, okay, think about this. If you are spending half your night dragging yourself down the hallway to baby's room, getting them in the rocking chair, nursing them, or feeding them their bottle, putting them back to sleep, dragging yourself back down the hall, and repeating that like 3 times throughout the night, you're not going to be sleeping well, and you might want to consider asking your care provider about suggestions for how to create a safe environment for bed sharing. If you're bed sharing and you're awake all night, nervous that you rolled on the baby, you might consider a bedside sleeper. So just kind of think about how you can tinker with your sleeping arrangements until you find one that allows you to get more sleep. And there's no one right way. There's different sleep circumstances and arrangements that work for different families. So just kind of keep messing with it until you find the one that works for you. Okay, embrace the whole nap when they nap cliche. So many people told me to do this when Hudson was a baby, and I never did it. And I probably would have been a much less scary human if I would have just put the vacuum down when Hudson fell asleep during the day and napped alongside him. So be smarter than me and give in to fatigue when your baby naps. All right, getting some help is also really important. If my last suggestion to nap when they nap sounds laughable to you because you just have so much to do, it might be an indication that you need to get your partner to help you out more around the house. Ask some friends, some family members for support. If you don't have a partner or friends, close friends, family members in the area, you can reach out to a local parent support center that can hopefully pair you with a postpartum doula, or just a volunteer that can do some in-home support, a mother's helper. But remember that you deserve support, and that can make it easier to get a little bit more sleep. Okay, take all of the shortcuts. I'm pretty sure that exhausted moms invented things like grocery delivery services, frozen meals, cleaning services, dry shampoo, because we realize that as much as possible, we need to let ourselves off the hook for always cooking these amazing home-cooked meals and having a pristine home all the time and busting our butts to do all these non-essential non-essential tasks that society has told us are essential. So really all you need to be doing right now is sleeping as much as you can, taking care of your basic needs, and taking care of the baby. Pretty much anything that isn't part of those three things can be put to the side, at least for now. So your baby doesn't need a daily bath and all those cute outfits. Like honestly, a wet wipe, fresh diaper, and clean enough onesie will do just fine. All right, taking a walk or just stepping outside or even opening a window. The body has to work harder for oxygen when it is breathing recycled air, which is mainly what we're breathing when we are inside. And this can exaggerate fatigue. So by opening the windows, letting in fresh air, going outside, you are making oxygen more readily available for your body, thus minimizing your body's workload and providing more energy. If you really want to up your energy, you can go outside for a walk with the baby. You'll get a dose of vitamin D, exercise, a change of scenery, all things that can increase your energy level. Drinking more water also makes a huge difference. Water makes up about 55 to 75% of your body and 90% of your blood. And it is crucial for cellular homeostasis. So it's super important. And when we're well hydrated, organs like the kidneys, bodily functions, they don't have to work as hard. And so that leaves more energy for you to use. And the blood has more oxygen to carry through the body. So again, leaves us with enhanced energy. Ideally, you get a minimum of, I'm trying to think, 12 ounce cups of water. 12, 8-ounce cups. Okay, anyways, what I do, I should know that. What I do, and this is pretty excessive, but it helps me get a lot of water, is I have a 40-ounce metal water bottle and I drink 3 of those each day. And even if I just get in 2, I'm still getting 80 ounces of water, which is pretty good. So I think having a big water bottle makes it a lot easier to drink more water because you're not having to refill it as much. And just keep it by your side always, especially if you're nursing or you're pumping. Always have that giant water bottle with you with good purified water in it. All right, avoid bottomless coffee. So 1 or 2 cups of coffee in the morning can be awesome, I know, but it's usually downhill from there. So for many people, having more than 2 cups of coffee can make you more susceptible to anxiety, which can be really exhausting because having too much caffeine, being anxious, it can cause the body to produce adrenaline and cortisol. And honestly, if I have more than 2 cups of coffee, I'm always sure that catastrophe is around the corner. I'm a wreck when I have too much coffee. Not everybody's like that. Some people can handle it really well, but even the people that can handle it really well, they're usually experiencing more adrenaline and cortisol in their body. And you also want to try to not drink coffee after 2 p.m. because that can make it harder to fall asleep. All right, you also want to stash healthy snacks everywhere. So food and fatigue, they're interesting bedfellows because if you eat too many heavy foods, like heavy rich foods, that can increase your fatigue. If you don't eat at all, you can get fatigued. So the happy medium is having, wholesome, fresh, organic, whenever possible, foods to eat, and keeping them in areas that you regularly use. So, the chair that you use to breastfeed, having a bag next to that with some dried nuts, some carrot sticks, any foods that you like and are filled with nutrients will help to keep your energy levels up. All right, next is exploring your emotions. So ask yourself, is your fatigue accompanied by anxiety, sadness? Do you feel incapable of feeling joy? Do you feel like motherhood is just an awful chore? If you answered yes to any of these, it does not mean that you're a monster. It does not mean that you need to feel any shame. It means that you might be experiencing postpartum blues, postpartum depression. If you suspect that might be what's happening, let your care provider know as soon as possible so you can get quality support. You also want to get a physical because while fatigue is a natural byproduct of early motherhood. It could also be a symptom of a condition that requires additional support. So for example, anemia, certain allergies, fibromyalgia, hypothyroidism, it can all lead to a lot of fatigue. So just getting a physical to make sure none of that's going on can be a great idea. All right, if you have any questions about this or anything else about pregnancy, childbirth, early motherhood, let me know in the comments below.